The gut you've been ignoring is running your life. You ever notice how your stomach ties itself into knots right before a big presentation? Or how stress makes you either lose your appetite completely or raid the pantry like you're preparing for the apocalypse? Or how you wake up bloated, exhausted, dragging yourself through another day, wondering why your body feels like it's conspiring against you, even though you're doing everything the wellness gurus told you to do? Yeah, that's your gut talking. And here's the part nobody tells you: it's not just talking to your stomach, it's talking to your brain, your immune system, your skin, your mood, your energy levels, and honestly, your entire existence. I recently sat down with Stacy James, a force of nature in the wellness world who has dedicated her life to helping people, especially high achieving Black women, understand that true health doesn't start with another restrictive diet or an expensive gym membership. It starts deep inside in a place most of us have been taught to ignore. Stacy Ann James is doing sacred work, reconnecting us to our bodies, teaching us to listen to the whispers before they turn into screams, reminding us that healing is not some luxury reserved for people with time and money. It's a birthright. And what she shared with me, it fundamentally changed the way I think about everything. So let's talk about your gut, not in that clinical, sterile, here's a diagram of your intestines kind of way. Let's talk about it like it's the command center of your entire life, because it is. Your gut is home to trillions of bacteria. Trillions. That's more bacterial cells in your body than actual human cells. Let that settle in for a moment. You are, technically speaking, more bacteria than you. And these microscopic residents, they're not just hanging out passively digesting your lunch. They're actively influencing your immune system, your weight, your energy, your mood, how well you sleep, how clearly you think, and even how long you're going to live. Your gut microbiome is mission control for your body. And when it's out of balance, everything else starts to crumble. We've been conditioned to think of gut health as this narrow, almost trivial thing. Oh, you're bloated. Take some probiotics. You have IBS. Avoid gluten. Drink more water. Do some yoga. But gut health is so much bigger, so much more profound than that. It's connected to diabetes, obesity, autoimmune diseases, anxiety, depression, chronic fatigue, skin conditions, brain fog, and even your ability to recover from a workout. It's the foundation of your physical and emotional well being. And yet, most of us are walking around completely disconnected from it, treating our bodies like machines that should just work without maintenance, without listening, without care. Stacy Ann James reminded me of something I think we all desperately need to hear. Your body is not the enemy. Your body is not broken. Your body is trying to help you. And your gut, it's been sending you signals this whole time. You've just been too busy, too overwhelmed, too conditioned to ignore it. Let me tell you about something that happened in 2024 that should have made national headlines, but somehow got buried in the noise. Researchers published a study in Nature Medicine examining how gut bacteria predict athletic endurance and recovery in adults living active lifestyles in Colorado's Roaring Fork Valley. These were people hitting the trails, doing the work, moving their bodies. They were doing everything right, or so they thought. But so many of them were struggling with crushing fatigue and painfully slow recovery after exercise. They couldn't figure out why. They were eating clean, they were consistent with their workouts, but they felt like they were running on fumes. So the researchers did something brilliant. Instead of telling these people to just push harder or try a new supplement, they analyzed their gut microbiomes. And what they discovered was stunning. The people who were struggling the most, their gut bacteria were completely out of balance. The diversity was gone. The beneficial strains were depleted. Their guts were basically screaming for help. So they implemented individualized dietary changes designed to boost microbial diversity. more fiber, more fermented foods, more prebiotics. Nothing extreme, nothing expensive, just intentional nourishment. And the results? Endurance and recovery times improved by up to 83%. 83%. Participants reported higher energy, better moods, fewer colds, less anxiety. Several people said they felt like themselves again for the first time in years. Their entire quality of life shifted, not because they trained harder or found some magic pill, but because they healed their gut. This is what Stacy and James has been saying all along. Your gut is not just about digestion. It's about everything. Now let's talk about the gut brain connection because this is where things get really wild, almost unsettling in how profound it is. Your gut and your brain are in constant communication. They are connected through something called the gut brain axis, which involves nerves, hormones, and neurotransmitters. And here's the part that should blow your mind. About 95% of your body's serotonin, the neurotransmitter that regulates your mood, your sense of well being, your ability to feel joy, is produced in your gut, not your brain, your gut. So when you're feeling anxious, depressed, foggy, emotionally unsteady, when you can't seem to shake that heavy feeling, no matter what you do, it might not just be in your head, it might be in your gut. There's a program at Hopkins MD that focused specifically on the gut brain connection for Black professionals dealing with high stress, anxiety, and depression. These were people in demanding careers, carrying the weight of entire teams, entire families, entire communities on their shoulders. They were trying to hold it all together while quietly falling apart. Mood swings, cognitive fatigue, emotional exhaustion, that feeling of being completely drained even after a full night's sleep. The program combined gut friendly dietary changes with mindfulness practices and microbiome support through probiotics and prebiotics. Nothing revolutionary, nothing inaccessible, just intentional, consistent care. And what happened? Participants experienced more stable moods, sharper focus, greater resilience to stress. They reported significant reductions in anxiety and depressive symptoms. They felt clearer, more balanced, more like the version of themselves they'd been missing. One participant said it felt like someone turned the lights back on in their brain. This is the work Stacy and James is championing. She's helping people understand that mental health and gut health are not separate issues. They're intertwined, inseparable. And when you heal one, you create space to heal the other. I want to pause here and talk about something that doesn't get said enough, and especially for those of us who have been taught to push through, to be strong, to carry everyone and everything. For so many of us, especially Black women, we've been in survival mode for so long that we don't even know what it feels like to just be, to rest without guilt, to listen to our bodies without judgment, to prioritize ourselves without apology. And our guts, they've been screaming at us. Bloating, cramping, fatigue, brain fog, mood swings, skin breakouts. But we've been too busy, too overwhelmed, too conditioned to think that taking care of ourselves is selfish or indulgent. Stacy and James is giving us permission to stop, to listen, to care for ourselves from the inside out. Because healing your gut is not just about fixing a symptom or checking a box. It's about reclaiming your body, your peace, your life, your joy. Let me share one more story that really drives this home. At the Austin MD clinic, they started seeing a pattern. Patients were coming in with chronic fatigue, anxiety, digestive issues, skin problems, all these seemingly unrelated complaints. These were people who had been struggling for years, who had seen specialist after specialist, who had tried everything and still had no answers. They were exhausted, frustrated, and starting to lose hope. So the clinic shifted their approach. They stopped treating symptoms in isolation and started focusing on the gut as the central factor in chronic health complaints. They introduced protocols emphasizing dietary fiber, probiotics, stress management, and tracking food triggers and symptoms. They asked patients to pay attention, to notice, to listen, and the results were undeniable. Patients experienced reduced bloating, better sleep, improved mood, clearer skin. Some were able to reduce or completely eliminate medications for anxiety and digestive issues. The clinic reported that nearly 70% of patients saw measurable improvements in their quality of life within 3 months. 3 months. That's how long it took for people to start feeling like themselves again, just by healing their gut. Not years of therapy, not endless prescriptions, not some expensive retreat. It's just intentional care for the foundation of their health. This is what Stacy and James wants you to know. You don't have to live like this. You don't have to accept fatigue, anxiety, bloating, brain fog, and emotional exhaustion as your normal. Your body is capable of healing. It wants to heal, and it starts with your gut. So, what do you actually do? How do you start healing your gut in a world that's constantly pulling you in 1,000 directions? First, you start listening, really listening. Track your digestive symptoms, your mood, your energy levels throughout the day. Notice what you eat and how it makes you feel an hour later, 2 hours later, the next morning. Your body is giving you information constantly. It's been trying to communicate with you. Pay attention to it, honor it. Second, make one small intentional change this week, just one. Add a serving of fiber rich food to your meals. Try a probiotic. Set aside 5 minutes, just five, for deep breathing or meditation. These are not complicated, expensive interventions. They're simple, accessible steps that anyone can take, regardless of budget or schedule. Third, be patient and compassionate with yourself. Healing is not linear, it's messy, it's slow, it's frustrating sometimes. Your gut didn't get out of balance overnight, and it's not going to heal overnight. But every small choice you make in favor of your health is a step toward wholeness, toward peace, toward the life you deserve. Stacy and James reminded me that this is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about showing up for yourself, even when it's hard, even when it feels like nothing is changing. It's about recognizing that your gut health is the foundation for everything else: your energy, your mood, your immune system, your ability to show up fully in your life, your relationships, your work, your joy. And here's the truth that I need you to hear, really hear. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to wake up with energy. You deserve to have a clear mind and a peaceful body. You deserve to live without constant bloating, fatigue, anxiety, and that nagging feeling that something is just off. You deserve to thrive, not just survive. You deserve to experience joy without guilt, rest without explanation, softness without apology. Your gut is talking. It's been talking this whole time, through every cramp, every bout of fatigue, every anxious thought, every sleepless night. The question is not whether your body is trying to communicate. The question is, are you finally ready to listen? Because when you do, when you start caring for your gut with intention and compassion, everything changes. Your energy shifts, your mood stabilizes, your skin clears, your sleep improves, your body starts to feel like home again instead of a battlefield. And you realize that healing is not something you have to chase down or earn. It's something you already have access to right now in this moment with the choices you make today. Stacy and James is doing the profound work of reminding us that our bodies are not broken. They're brilliant, they're resilient, they're capable of extraordinary healing when we give them what they need: fiber, rest, stress management, love, attention, respect. So here's my challenge to you, and I mean this with every fiber of my being. This week, make one gut friendly choice, just one, and notice how it feels. Notice what shifts. Notice what your body has been trying to tell you all along. Notice the whisper before it becomes a scream, because your gut is not just talking, it's guiding you, it's protecting you, it's trying to lead you back to yourself. And when you listen, when you honor it, when you care for it with the same devotion you give to everyone and everything else, you're not just healing your digestion, you're healing your life, you're reclaiming your peace. You're stepping into the wholeness that's been waiting for you all along. This is not about adding one more thing to your endless to do list. This is about coming home to yourself. This is about remembering that you are worthy of care, of attention, of healing. This is about recognizing that the most radical thing you can do in a world that demands you keep giving, keep performing, keep sacrificing is to finally put yourself first. So listen to your gut, trust your body, and step into the healing, the peace, the joy, and the freedom that have been yours all along. They're not somewhere out there, they're right here, waiting, and your gut has been trying to show you the way home.